everyone. Welcome back to On Armor Talk podcast. I'm still your host in 2024 as we go to rapidly approach year number 4 of producing amazing episodes. Mario P. Fields. And before I get to today's amazing guest, thank you guys again for sharing, subscribing, and listening to each episode. We're on 104 episodes. And out of the 103 previous, including this one, every time you guys listen, download, and share, you are generating charitable dollars that's supporting Still Serving Incorporated. And just so you guys know, last year we raised $10,000. I don't have the little button. And every year our goal is $10,000. So continue to support us, continue to watch, share, donate if you can. And let's make a difference in Pitt County, North Carolina for students in low income communities. Help me break that cycle of poverty, man. Do student development with those positive skills. I'm done with the admin. Let's get to our amazing guest who's willing to remove his armor to help other people. Today, we have a United States Army veteran. Now, you know the deal, man. You know, I'm a Marine, so you got nothing against the Army.
I know it. I know it. It's okay.
And he is the international president of Mu Beta Phi Military Fraternity Incorporated. Michael Harris, what's going on, my friend?
Nothing much, Mario. Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it. Look forward to the opportunity, man, to sit here, have a conversation with you and your viewers, man, and see if we can get some things moving and get some interested people in here and help you reach that goal that you're looking for.
Right, right. And same for you, what you guys are doing. And it seems like we've been trying to get this episode since 1788, man. But now we're here, and we're about to do it. So, can you tell the listeners and viewers, Michael, just a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. 54, married, 4 kids, 2 grandchildren. I served in the United States Army for 4 years. I joined straight out of high school in 1987. Did 4 years. I got out in 1991, and the military provided a slingshot for me into the workforce coming back. I spent the first 15 years as a corrections officer.
Wow.
The last 15 years I spent as a parole agent, all in the state of Pennsylvania. Um, the military prepares you for a job like that, which is true. And me being at the parole office is how I got to Mu Beta Phi. Friend of mine's he a co-worker of mine's, he joined in the summer of 2018, and he came back and was telling me about it, and I was like, man, I don't have time for this fraternity stuff, man. Ain't nobody going to have me in school days doing nothing I ain't supposed to be doing. So that's just a small bit about me, nothing much, man.
Man, with a couple of things, and you guys know I learn more about the guest on the interview than I do prior to it. Fields family is from Pennsylvania. So first of all, you got a special place in my heart. My dad is from Pennsylvania. All my uncles, I mean, the majority of the Fields family is from Pennsylvania. And then, to go from the United States Army to correctional, officer to now an international president of a military fraternity. Tell us a little bit about the fraternity, and then I want to talk about this journey. What talk to us, man?
Yeah, well, Mu Beta Phi Military Fraternity Incorporated. It was a vision and idea by 3 military veterans and active duty service members. Our founder, Dr. Gary Amos, retired U.S. Navy sailor. Sergeant Clifton Powell, he's a U.S. Army veteran. I think he's about to retire, I think. And our Air Force Tech Sergeant Darren Coney, they all came together one day, man, down in South Carolina, and came with the idea that there needs to be some kind of resource or organization that can help our veterans. And they came with the idea that maybe we can provide those resources and at the same time provide a brotherhood that could help us get to the goal of eradicating veteran homelessness. And that was the main goal of Mu Beta Phi. Now, it's changed over the year. I shouldn't say it's changed. It's kind of improved over the years about what it is that we want to do. We've incorporated the active eradicating veteran homelessness. We started a youth mentor program. Our Herculean effort has now grown even more, and the overall community service to the community as a whole is whereas Mu Beta Phi is now. I can go on, man, for days about you know where we're at and what we're trying to do and the accomplishments we made. Um, but the greatest thing is, seeing that we can provide a service and need for veterans that don't know. I mean, you know as yourself, serving that the veteran hasn't always been the center of the governmental focus. We serve our time, we come home, and we kind of disappear into the abyss. They tell us we have things out there, but no one ever provides some kind of avenue for you to get there. And that trend has went on for so many years. And I say that because my father, United States Marine Corps veteran, during his Vietnam, time, and
Yeah.
these discussions we would have with him, he says, those early veteran years, man, we didn't get that attention. We didn't know we had resources. So organizations like Mu Beta Phi, that's our goal. We want to get to our veterans. We want to let them know, hey, we're here to help you. We're going to point you in the right direction. We may not be able to directly get you what you need, but we can find you the resources and the avenues to get to where you need to get to.
Right. And when I went on your website, I love the positive impact. I love how I was able, like you said, Michael, to see the growth and just still serving. I mean, that's the name of our company, Still Serving Incorporated. There is another company out there that's called Still Serving without the ink. So that's why I always say incorporated. But making that positive impact, doing a couple of years, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 30 years, and then coming out to the community and doing great things. But now so here you are, comfortable, 54 years young, you still look like you're 29, my friend. And my, you know, and you're this international, not local, not domestic, international president. When you were offered this position or whatever, how did you feel? Were you prepared for this?
Not at all. Not at all. Because it wasn't, when I joined MUA5, it wasn't my intentions to even come nowhere even close to this. It was my strict intention and idea that I'm going to participate as much as possible. I'm going to provide as much insight as I possibly can. And I was going to sit back, man, and stay in the shadows. I'd rather be the guy behind the scenes than up front. And it kind of it moved fast because see when I joined in our local chapter here in Philadelphia, it was only like 8 of us, and we
Mhm.
used to have a little powwow in the circle, and everybody had 2 or 3 jobs to do. I actually started off as the SAA, and then we got a few more people, and I became the community service director, and I sat there as the community service director, and that was 2018. Come around 2020, it was now time for a new president for the local chapter. And I said, okay, I'll do it. It ain't too much limelight there. And I sat there for about a year, and we had a summons event, a national summons in Miami. And the at the time the current elected vice president one had some own personal issues, and he had to step down. I get approached by, the current president at the time and the founder asking, would I consider stepping in as in an intern basis? And I really was like, boy, this is not really where my plan is supposed to, take me. This is not my idea. But I felt a commitment to the fraternity that if I could fill the void, even on a temporary basis, then not a problem. I'll do it. I sat there for the last 2 years, and I want to say, I guess my personal impact or how people view me is what catapulted me into the seat.
Mm.
It became, I would get a lot of questions. Hey, you gonna run for president? Hey, you gonna do this? And I kept saying, nah, I like where I'm at. I ain't, too much limelight or whatever. And but I had a conversation with, not only my wife and some of the other members that I'm close to. And it was like, well, listen, you would be the perfect person to move our fraternity forward, man. And you shouldn't pass up opportunity. You could do great things. And so I thought about it as a whole, like what I have as a leader, can the fraternity use? Is it going to help us get to, that goal of eradicating veteran homelessness? So I rolled the dice, man, and put my name on the ballot. And here I sit, 6 months in. I got officially seated in July at our national summit. So I'm 6 months in, and moving forward, full steam ahead, man.
Wow, and I love how you mentioned the power of your personal brand, like your reputation, and how your reputation was, you didn't even have to speak. Your reputation and your personal brand was doing the speaking. It was also doing the influencing of opportunities. Um, at any point, did you experience the emotion of fear? What if because sometimes people get promoted and it can seem like a great thing, but in reality, you could also have some fears associated with it. Did you have any?
Oh yeah, from from I tell you, I didn't have no fears when I was going through the process of campaigning for it. I figured, like you said, I will let my achievements that I've done speak for themselves. I will let my personal demeanor and my own
Mhm.
actions and conversations speak for itself. And once it finally set in, I'm like, man, now I'm like, am I going to really be able to do this job? Am I going to be able to live up to the expectations? So now I had to fear about the decisions I have to make. I also had to fear, am I going to lose colleagues and friends
Mm.
in the position? Because, as you go through and you become a leader, people are always happy for you. But then when, you have to make those harsh decisions, you can lose a lot of friends as you move up, to change. So I think that was like the biggest fear that I had, that the people that supported me the most, if I had to turn the tides and make a tough decision that may involve them, would they still be, my friends? I think that was the biggest fear of doing the job. Not necessarily doing the job, but the losing the confidence and the support of the people around me is probably what the biggest fear was.
Yeah, Michael, that is a great point. Interesting, because when I was listening to you, I even started reflecting back on my entire professional journey. And I never really heard someone put it that way. And it's true that you're getting promoted to anything. It could be in a position in the private sector, the military, you get a promotion to the next higher rank. And you're silently struggling with this fear of me and Michael were cool. Now Michael works for me.
Right.
And so how did you this would I believe this would be a great episode for a lot of folks in all industries. How did you think through that where you're responding to this emotion and not reacting in this position?
Um, after a while, I did have to I took a step back and thought about it.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, and I had to be completely honest, that those people around me, if they're truly my friends are truly supportive of me, then they'll have a complete understanding of the job that I have to do and why I have to make certain decisions that may not be pleasant for everybody. But I have to think about the big picture, which is the fraternity and the organization as a whole. What's best for us all as an entire body rather than an individual. So I had to sit back and think about like that. Then I also had to tell myself, so I am who I am, and I'm the same person I was before I became the international president. I
Right.
speak the exact same way. I conversate the same way. I think the same way. I provide the same amount of respect that I did when I was not the president. So I would hope that that would take, and people would take that and view that, and that would make it a lot easier for me to adjust to, being in the position and not having that fear as much. And once I got that settled in my mind that, hey, I'm still the same person. And, they're either going to love me or hate me. I know it's a harsh thing to say, but it's really the truth. They're either going to love me or hate me. And the first few months, man, in the 6 month thing, you come in as a leader and, you provide change, you provide new direction, new structure. And let me tell you, everybody's not happy and you get pushback, but I have to stay on the line and keep pushing forward because there's a greater goal at the end. And it takes time for people to adjust to new leadership. It's working out for the most part. So I'm good
Right.
right now.
it we I also hear folks talk about the power of mentorship. And I love how you eloquently talked about your process of thinking through these emotions. Because again, this Unarmored Talk podcast we like to focus on to think is a choice,
Mhm.
and to react, that's natural to humans.
Right.
So with all of that said, did you have any mentors or anyone in your network that you relied on that also helped you navigate this new position as now the international president of Mu
Hey,
Beta Phi?
not coming directly from you, Beta Phi. Um, my experience through life is what it is. I've had some great leaders that I've worked for through
Hmm.
corrections, through parole, through the military, which that I pattern a lot of the things that I do after them. I had to understand that being a leader, I'm one of those that believe that, to be a good leader, you got to be able to educate those around you. You just can't say, do this, do that, and not provide directions or instructions. And I also believe you got to lead by example. In the military, it was always told to me that I'm never going to tell you to do nothing that I haven't done or wouldn't do myself.
Hmm.
And that's the way I've always been. I've come across leaders that will tell people to do this and do that, and they've never, ever even got close to doing what they're given directions to doing. And in the field of corrections and parole, those are dangerous situations you can get into. So
Right.
I'm not going to send you in somewhere that I have no experience in because we won't know how to deal with the situation. So, that leadership there. And then when I started going through, New Bay Fund, I got to the seat now. Our founder is probably the greatest mentor there is now. I mean, his knowledge about the organization, not just Mu Beta Phi, but organizations in general, and the process and the ins and outs and the way to, you know, conversate and the directions you have, that's, I get a lot of that from him. And I think that's what makes it even more comfortable to sit here. But I am as a
Right.
leader, one of the things you mentioned about mentoring, I believe, like I said, to be a good leader, you got to mentor those below you so they can come up to your level because you're not going to always be sitting here. So you got to, it's just like, educate. You got to prepare the future to take over because I can't sit here forever. So I have to prepare someone to come behind me. And I think that's like one of the greatest things about being a leader when you can teach other people how to be, an outstanding leader.
Yeah, and Michael, you can see it in your bones virtually, man. I mean, being authentic. Everybody, I mean, Michael gave us some wonderful tips, and being authentic. Be you, be yourself, be authentic. I am who I am. Be consistent, and definitely, if it's not in your bones, if it's not a passion, then why people will know, and
Why
you
do
guys
it?
know, yeah, you can see it. So I know you're having fun, and I'm not going to keep you much longer, or you'll invoice me. I know you will, man, and I have to send you a check. but
No, not at all, man. I listen. Uh, this right here is I love it. I mean, I love being able to speak to people and let people know that that we're out here. So I love coming on any opportunity I can come on your show, man, for any reason whatsoever. Never hesitate, man. I love it. I love being able to put our experience out there, my experience in Mu Beta Phi, man, and and get it out there. Let people know that we are here and we're help. We're not a fad. We're not going nowhere. We're in our 7th year strong. I plan on us being around for about 100 years stronger after that. Your son, my grandson, my son, being members of Mu Beta Phi somewhere down the line because they'll be looking to do that. So that's the overall. I'm looking at the future. 50
right,
years down the line. Someone else having this conversation talking about us. You know what I mean? So
right,
here for you,
yeah.
brother.
And I tell you, everyone, the links will be in the chat, so you guys can get on the website. I hope and pray that you guys get on the website. Any last tips? Any if you had to think of one tip to give the listeners and viewers of what to do or what they can do, especially if they get promoted to something that they didn't really expect. What tip could you give, Michael?
Oh, one tip. Um, like you said, just be genuine. Be yourself. Never don't change because of the position you in. Because the person you were is how you got there. So don't let the position change you. Stay genuine. Stay true to yourself. Stick to your beliefs, stick to your guns, and it will take you far. It may not make everybody happy, but it'll take you far because people will know exactly where you're coming from. They'll know exactly who the person is they dealing with because they'll know who you are and they'll know you're a genuine person.
I love it, man. You guys heard it from Michael. Don't let the position change you. You change the position. Well, you
That's
guys know the deal. In a couple of weeks, if you're listening, of course, you can hear me. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see me. But until next time, you guys know how I sign off. God bless you. God bless your families, and God bless your friends. Michael, be safe out there, my friend.
Thank you, Mario. I appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
You too.